This is Sound and Vision on KEXP. New York rap duo Armand Hammer returned with a new album last month called We Buy Diabetic Test Strips. KEXP's Dusty Henry caught up with the rappers to learn more about the story behind their eye-catching album title.
Sipping mead on the blue note, sidewinder out the two-door, extra crispy on my three-piece. Leave a message at the beep, box braid on my...
Armand Hammer are juggernauts of the hip-hop underground. Comprised of rappers Billy Woods and Elucid, the prolific pair have been on a tireless spree of critically acclaimed albums, both as Armand Hammer and in their solo projects as well. Just last year, Elucid dropped his art rap opus, I Told Bessie.
I got rocks in my head, I didn't listen right. Rather than brown, the fuck they said, now he won't miss the light. Shifting gears, more than aware, I bit my tongue in spite.
And Woods has dropped 3 albums within the last year, including 2023's much-lauded Maps.
It's 211 on the daiquiris. It ruins the whole day when my baby mother mad at me. Spliff could probably jump your car battery.
While the two are always collaborating and featuring on each other's records, it's always a thrill when they come back together as Armand Hammer. Now a decade into the project, they recently put out arguably their best work yet with their new album, We Buy Diabetic Test Strips.
Zimbabwe Rhodesia, drive-in movie theater, Toyota Cresta, heavy metal speaker. Don't kill the messenger, Henry Kissinger, my album's only feature.
Xerox visas and world passport, home where the hatred is, no mystery guard. All data lost, spirit roaming. Beast verse harder at the garden, sucking tongue under starlight. My six-headed bride, black on both sides.
There's a lot of absurdity on this album, from the title on down to the humor. The record is loud, brash, experimental, and packed with brilliant, blink-and-you'll-miss-it wordplay. As with all of their work, the music is a funhouse mirror reflection of the wild world around them. I caught up with the group to learn more about their process and the subtleties imbued within the record. To start, we talked about that eyebrow-raising title. Woods recalls how he and Elucid would see these mysterious signs brandished with, "We sell diabetic test strips," while walking around their Brooklyn neighborhood.
Just looking at it, I was like, obviously this must make money for somebody or be something, but I don't understand how and why it would work or exist. And I remember one day asking him about it, and he was like, I've seen them, but I don't really know. And then I looked it up and found out what it was, which is just, if you don't have insurance, they're expensive to buy. And obviously there are people who can get them from insurance who might not need as many as they can get or might not even need them at all. Who knows what level of fraud might go into it for some people. And so middlemen who seek to profit off that create an economy there.
Pass my own crime bill. It said if you scared, go to church. You could still get killed. Life's ill. Natural life, if you lie, put somebody in the cell. 10 years for trading stocks, enhancements for brokering deals. CFOs pleading out, junior traders flipping you for real. Balaclava on the judge, gold fronts looking like West Side Gun. That picky square, knowing you're not winning on.
The album's title reflects a chaotic world, a frequent topic for Armand Hammer. It was important for the duo that the sound matched this energy. Here's Elucid.
I don't know what I wanted it to feel like other than sprawling. That always kind of came up. 3D. I don't want to use that word immersive. That's everywhere. It's like tech speak these days. But I definitely wanted to create a world to sit in and watch these storylines be played out. And I think, that's, we have so many hands like working on this record. And that was our attempt at like making this sort of widescreen sort of album.
To create the sound of the record, they enlisted the help of producers like JPEG Mafia, Seb Bash, and LP, all known for their bombastic production. They also held jazz jam sessions led by Sons of Kemet's Shabaka Hutchins. These sessions were later sampled on parts of the album, and it all melds together into a sprawling, anxiety-fueled record. These sounds mirror the frequent topics that come up in their lyrics.
Nobody escapes the dysfunction. If you can't be used, you're useless. State execution, gold fuse. Put the computers to sleep and grab a rifle. They say I ain't supposed to be here pre-zygo.
In terms of the larger themes that you're both discussing on the record, that there feels to be a lot of worry about future or the present and sort of this existential sense, but also in the more immediate of like, what's going to happen to me today? What's going to happen to my kids or my parents in this chaos that we're just kind of surrounded in? Can you talk about those ideas and how you were trying to contend with them on the record?
making music, writing rap is a way of like talking to myself, talking to my confusion, talking to like my misunderstandings about what I have going on in me. Because I think in my present mind, I have so much to hold close, being grateful for with my family, and things I would fight for and I would die for. So I think that with that in mind, you know, that kind of prevails over, for me, that prevails over the worry, that prevails over like this sort of existential dread that comes with, that exists, you know? Trying to raise kids in a world like ours, like, you know, this world that they're going to inherit. But yeah, that's present, so it should be voiced, I think, in the art. But yeah, that doesn't overshadow, I guess, my determination for like a better future for myself, for us, for my kids.
I also try to remember that although there's a sense, and of course you have climate change and things like that, but although there's a sense that everything is always getting worse, I have to remind myself that I don't think that I can actually really look at the world and say that's true. Like, I was born at the tail end of the Vietnam War. When you look at the number of people who were killed, Americans or Vietnamese and Southeast Asian people, in the course of that conflict and the conflicts that revolved around it, it's far more people than were killed in all of like Afghanistan and Iraq, and which doesn't mean those things don't matter or don't care, you know, but there was a time when people were concerned about imminent nuclear holocaust. There's, you know, humanity is clearly always going to be riven with problems until we've made the earth a place we can't even exist and we go away forever. But I don't know if things are worse,
yeah,
especially.
I guess that really depends on like who you are. You know, I feel like this idea of like this America kind of spiraling out of control, for me, you know, I feel like a lot of people were saying that when Trump was elected, and there's sort of this spiral. And I just remember like in that moment, you know, just realize who I am, you know, as a black person in America, raised in New York City in like a Pentecostal church. This world has always been doomed. I have grown up with that idea on a couple of different levels. And it was pretty clear to me like what kind of world that I was going to be growing into myself. So it always depends on like who you are asking these sorts of things, which is why I was saying, you know, going back to what earlier, those feelings of existential like exist. It's at the core. But then like, what am I going to do with that? Is this going to paralyze me, or what am I going to do? You know, and that's always what I'm contending with.
And as much as it might appear at first glance that Armand Hammer looms in the darkness, there's humor embedded throughout their catalog. We Buy Diabetic test strips is no exception.
Hype when I first laid eyes on Bathsheba. Bust down middle part, big laugh, she still called grass cheaper. Missionary, cause I know God see us.
Yeah, just what does humor play into your work?
I honestly would think that a person who is a fan of my music would say a significant portion. I think I was talking to him about this because I was like, maybe sometimes it doesn't make sense to me because I feel like dark comedy and dark humor, and it's not always even dark humor, but I feel like those things are pretty common in our postmodernist culture. Yeah. But sometimes I feel like people see the darkness and can't see the other, and it's funny because they never seem to see the humor and miss the darkness or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. I think maybe sometimes it's preconceived notions, and sometimes it's probably people not making connections beyond an initial one, because sometimes the joke is underneath the initial idea.
The happiest Africans, how I started my verse fly, babe. Rehearsed with me all the world and got cut from Chris Hayes. Had Belafonte coughing off that uptown church, that brew day. I went to the ends of earth, sunburned black as Pompeii. White women with pepper spray in their purse, interpolating Beyonce. Illegal formations.
Another thing that comes up on the record a few times too is just like sort of contentious feelings about like technology. Like, Alyssa, do you have a reference? Like, I feel a way about providing my identity to robots.
Great line.
I feel a way about proving my identity to robots. You niggas smoke computers. I only have one job.
You niggas smoke computers.
Niggas smoke computers, man. I got one in my pocket. Yeah, just kind of just talking about place, talking about where we're at, where I'm at. I was literally in the Apple store thinking of that rhyme. Just think about technology, fears, hopes, singularities, ChatGPT, all these things. It's in our face every day. You know, these are our pals at this point. So how could I not address it in some way? But there was something about being inside of that sterile Apple store in downtown Brooklyn, and I just realized that there were fake trees inside of the Apple store, and just, it's absurd.
Fake trees in the Apple store. A double portion of protection for me and my niggas. I'm trying to only say what's necessary.
I was going to ask whether each of you, is there a song that you feel like maybe not necessarily encapsulates the whole record for you, but that you would put forth as a, maybe
I think this is an easy one. I think Woke Up in That Theory, How I'm Gonna Die.
Woke up in that theory, how I'm gonna die. She was fly. She was fly. Woke up in that theory, how I'm gonna die. She was fly. She was fly. She was fly.
I ain't seen the bottom yet. I ain't seen the bottom yet. Drag the whip behind collar neck. Before we get boomerang side effect. I be lying like I'm just a man. I be lying like I'm just a man.
It's one of those records that, yeah, man, it was just kind of, once we did it, it was like, that's it. Like, it crystallized so much about like the ambition for what the album could be, because it was in the early stages. And once that was done, it just happened too quickly. It happened too easily, and it felt really, really strong. And for me, that's my choice.
Mumble through the brain fog. Tonight it's like a chainsaw. Cookies crumble. I know that's what you came for. Fake humble with a head full of case law. Marble steak, put it back in the case so it can age more.
Switchboard is one of the songs that I would pick.
A face behind this mask, behind this face. A face behind this mask, behind this face. A face behind this mask, behind this face. So many people at the same time.
It just really, both how it was made reflected something about how we put the album together and its sound, and it being a crucial part of, like I said, The Key Is Under the Mat would be in consideration for me. And that song is set up so well by all of the sort of ethereal ghostliness and constantly sort of transforming nature of Switchboard. And so I see those two as like a great pair.
Everything that matters is finite hindsight before it happens. We were sitting on dynamite, blasting caps. Every conversation came with closed captions. If it's a question, go ahead and ask it.
We've talked so much about like the different, like the chaos and the dread, but then the humor as well. What role does this idea of like of hope feel to you? Do you feel like there is room for hope in this world or in your music? Is that something you think about?
Yeah, I mean,
I always want to leave room for the humanity to exist amongst all this darkness, for sure. I think that's a crucial element of some of my inspirations and heroes. You know, coming, folks from out of the Black arts movement. That was told to me as like one of the most crucial parts of Black art is to have this humanity exist and this idea of this light amidst the darkness of America, for sure.
And I think, even in the song that we're talking about, the last song in the album, it's like talking about this relationship and everything. And then it's like, demons lurk, our demons search, but some nights they can't find us, and it's like it was at first. And I think that's what it is, Sit is out. Sometimes the demons are going to find you eventually, but it might be that night it's like...
And it might not.
Yeah, that night it might feel like your relationship was at the beginning, you know what I mean? Yeah. And hand in hand, diving back to earth. And I feel like there's space for all of the things that make up humanity. And I hope in my music and my art.
Indeed.
Gaseous planets, ice giants, demons lurk, our demons search every night, but some nights they can't find us, and it's like it was at first, flying with no pilots, barrel rolls in the sky, diving hand in hand back to earth. Free as a bird. hope he loving rockets. That security deposit ain't coming back. Excavated artifacts in the hall closet, boxed and stacked. Stretch, weighed, measured, packed.
That was Elucid and Billy Woods of Armand Hammer talking about their new album titled We Buy Diabetic Test Strips with KEXP's Dusty Henry.